When the world was very young, there was no sun, moon, or stars. The entire universe was engulfed in darkness. Now, obviously, this didn't last for long, because we can see that there is, in fact, a sun, moon, and stars. But what happened to the darkness? Did it just vanish into thin air? No, my friend, it's still here. And every once in a while, it peeks out from behind the curtains of our reality to remind us that we are not truly alone. Hello, friends. Welcome back to another episode of Scary and Exiting Stories. If you haven't subscribed yet, then make sure you do so. You don't miss any new stories. Today's story is a personal experience from a user. So let's begin. It was 1983, and I was going through a messy divorce. My ex-wife wanted everything, and my two boys were the bargaining chips. She also tried to convince me that my oldest son was not even mine, and that she had an affair with her boss right around the time that he was conceived. Of course, I believed her and did not fight her on that point. All of this put a serious strain on my finances. One day, she took the kids and left me with nothing but an empty crib and a list of demands. I was a single father now, and being one is hard enough under normal circumstances. But with my wife turned enemy and a mountain of legal fees ahead of me, things looked rather bleak. Then came Christmas Eve. I took the kids to my parents' house, where we spent the holiday. At least someone loved them more than my ex-wife did. We opened our presents, ate some mom's famous Christmas cookies, and watched TV until the kids went to sleep. Then my folks and I started drinking eggnog and reminiscing about Christmases past. Everything was perfect except for the gaping hole in my heart caused by the absence of my sons. But then my dad said something that gave me hope. He said, "Hey, why don't you take the boys to the drive-in? They have those old monster movies playing over there." I jumped at the chance. I called my ex-wife and told her my plans. To my surprise, she agreed. Maybe she was having second thoughts about how badly she had treated me. Or maybe she just wanted to get as much money out of me as possible. Either way, I took it as a sign of goodwill and pressed on with the plan. We dropped the kids off, and they ran into the theater as fast as their little legs would carry them. I waited until the movie started, and then I drove home. I figured that the longer the kids stayed away from me, the better. I would be able to collect myself and get ready to pick them up when the movie ended. I was halfway home when I realized that I didn't have the money for their gifts. I remembered that I had put all my cash inside the kids' stockings, but those stockings were at my parents' house, so I was screwed. There was no way I could turn back. I had to keep going. As I approached my house, I noticed that the front door was slightly open. That was odd. I never left the front door unlocked. As I stepped inside, I realized that somebody had broken in. I screamed for help, but nobody answered. I went to the kids' rooms to check if they were there. They weren't? I searched everywhere, but they were nowhere to be found. I called the police and reported my sons missing. They sent out a search party and combed the neighborhood, but they couldn't find the boys anywhere. One officer told me that there were signs of struggle near the window, indicating that somebody had climbed inside. The police suspected that my ex-wife had taken the kids and run away, but she had an airtight alibi and a new boyfriend who vouched for her. I insisted that she had taken the kids, but nobody listened to me. I knew that my sons were dead. I could feel it in my bones. And what made it worse was that I couldn't tell anybody why I felt that way. I went to see a psychologist who gave me pills and a clean bill of mental health. According to him, I was coping perfectly. Well, all the while, I was screaming on the inside. I walked around like a zombie for weeks, unable to sleep, eat, or think straight. I kept replaying the day in my head, searching for clues that the police had missed. Then I got a lead. A neighbor told me that she had seen my sons playing in the park across town. I thanked her and rushed over. As I entered the park, I saw two figures running between the trees. Could it be? I began to run after them, but I was too slow. They disappeared into the woods. I called out to the kids, but only silence answered me, devastated. I returned home, but as I opened the front door, I heard voices. It was my ex-wife and her new lover. They had returned the kids, but I refused to let them come inside. I told them that they had violated the court-ordered visitation schedule, and they said that it didn't matter. That was when I lost it. I screamed at them, cursed them, did everything but let them in. Finally, My ex-wife stepped forward and said, "Look, why don't we all go somewhere and talk this out?" I had been standing frozen in place, staring at the ground. When I looked up, she was gone. I blinked and asked her to repeat what she had said. She did, and then I agreed. I remember walking around in a fog. I remember getting into the car with my boys, but I don't remember anything else. The next thing I knew, I was lying on the cold asphalt of a parking lot. My head throbbed and the sky spun above me. When I tried to sit up, two men grabbed me and pulled me back down. "Don't move," one of them said. "You're hurt." Suddenly, my sons were there. They were crying and screaming, but I ignored them. I tried to stand up again, but they pushed me back down. "Please leave me alone," I said. "I want to go home." "Why would I let you go home? You're staying with us now," one of the men said. I struggled against them, but they were strong and agile. They held me down until I stopped moving. Then they carried me to a nearby apartment building and dragged me inside. I don't know what they did to me, but I became weak and helpless. They locked me in a room without windows or a door. Every night, I would scream for my sons, but they never came. Instead, whispers echoed through the halls. Whispers that sounded exactly like the voice of my ex-wife. I don't know how long I was there. It could have been days, weeks, or months. Time has no meaning in the darkness. Then one day, the whispers stopped. I heard footsteps outside the room, but they didn't stop. They kept coming closer. Before I knew it, the door burst open and a spotlight blinded me. A woman stood in the doorway. It was my ex-wife. She looked beautiful, but there was something different about her. She had this otherworldly glow about her and her eyes shone with an unearthly light. Behind her, I saw the two men from before. They were grinning from ear to ear. Well, look what the cat dragged in," my ex-wife purred. "I was wondering how long it would take you to find your way to me." "Come on out, boys," she said, stepping aside. My sons emerged from behind her. Their faces were pale and drawn, and their eyes glowed the same eerie green as hers. "Mom," I whispered. "Oh, yes," she said, taking a step toward me. "I've been waiting for you. It's time for us to be together forever." That's all for today's story. If you enjoyed it, then please leave a like and subscribe for more content. Also, make sure to share this story with your friends and family so that they, too, can enjoy it. Thanks for listening, friends, and I'll see you next time.